Welcome to the broadcast. My name is John Mayfield, the real estate tech guy, and this is a live stream that we're going to right now. So thanks again for joining. Hope you're having a great day. It's a beautiful day here in southeast Missouri. Absolutely gorgeous. Just a little cool, but we've had some beautiful weather. But we want to get right into solving a math problem on our live stream, a taxes problem. I'm going to take you over to the board and let you take a look at this, and we'll see how well you can do. So we have semi-annual taxes, real estate taxes, $450 were paid only for the first half of the year. The property sold on July 11th and closed on September 19th. If the taxes were prorated between the buyer and seller as of the date of sale, which of the following is true? Well, I want to tell you that I'm taking this question from a Facebook friend of mine. I think I've met her before. She's been a great real estate instructor for many, many years, and she has an excellent book called Guide to Passing the AMP Real Estate Exam. We actually have the PSI Real Estate Exam now in Missouri. I don't think AMP, I think they sold the PSI. But Joyce B. Sterling. Joyce, I apologize if I mispronounced your name incorrectly, but check her book out. And if you're going through the real estate school, I think she sells that on her website. So and probably be able to find it on Amazon as well. But it's a great book, and Joyce, I'm using one of your questions today, and I hope that's okay in return for giving a good promotion to your book. So great real estate author, and always enjoy her take. And I love this question that she wrote because it kind of shows you how they can throw some different things at you on the real estate exam. So I'm going to leave this up for just a second and let you take a look at it. We'll work through it together. But before I do that, I do want to come back to you. And I see I have a little bit of, when I'm going to these, I have a little bit of problem with the screen, but that's okay. The YouTube option's on there, and I want you to be sure and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's very important you do that. We would love to have you as a subscriber. I'm getting closer to the 2,000 mark, so that would be great. Be sure and do that. Check us out at globalrealestateschool.com. We've got lots of great resources. We can help you pass the test. We got test results today, and you know, it was happy and sad at the same time, and I want to be very transparent with you. Overall numbers for everybody who took the test, who had gone to Global Real Estate School, the numbers were not where I'd like for them to be. I think it was somewhere around the 57% mark. But here's the interesting fact when I say it was good and bad. First time folks who took the test, the very first time who took the test from us, 90% pass rate. And there was over, I think there were 12 people. It was a good number of people who took the test. Anyway, we had a 90% pass rate first time, passed both the national and state. However, it tells me something about people who don't pass the test. We've had a couple of months where we had a few folks that didn't pass the test, and so what I'm looking at, and this is just John Mayfield's interpretation of the data, is that for those people who don't pass the test, I don't think they're really studying as well as they should to go back and prepare for that second time. Now, we have lots of tools and resources at Global Real Estate School, and sometimes I have some students, like I had two students, one passed both the national and states, and sent me a wonderful email. I looked in her dashboard, and she went through everything we provided her. I had someone else write me a week or so after that, and they didn't pass, and they were like, what do I do? And when I went in and looked at their dashboard, there were practice exams they had never logged into. They had never logged into the new state exam questions. There was a lot of stuff they weren't studying. So here's what I want to tell you. If you're going to take the real estate exam, you've got to study hard. Use all of the resources. We provide Global Real Estate School students with a lot of resources. So use those. the flashcards, the practice exams. I have recorded video study sessions of every chapter that we go through. So, you know, I want you to know you can pass that test, but if you don't pass that first time, I think you're going to have to do 2 or 3 times harder studying just to get yourself up to speed. So congratulations to our 90%, all of those folks who passed in March for the first attempt that were Global Real Estate School students. And for those of you who did not pass, please reach out to me. I'm here to help you, and I want you to know that. We want to help you pass the test, and I always encourage my students to give me a call and help me out. So that's why I want to do a quick live stream. I've got a couple of appointments and a lot of things today, but I thought, you know what, it's been a while. I've been recording a lot of content for some CE classes and other material, but I want to make sure we do a live stream today and go over a math problem because sometimes people tend to have issues with the math. So let's look at this. Classic problem that kind of, to me, scares me when I read all of this, because I'm like, holy cow, that's a lot of information. And they throw a couple of curveballs at us here because, you know, they put this thing in here about semi-annual taxes, and they were paid, and they're $450, you know, so now, and so, you know, the property sold on July 11th and closed on September 19th. I don't know what that means, but we need to kind of go through and take a look at this and see how we can answer this problem correctly. So the property sold on July 11th and closed on September 19th. I'm reading that, and I'm going to go back over here in the book and make sure, and closed on, the date of the sale, which of the following is true? Well, I'm gonna work this 2 different ways because as I read through this now, it's kind of throwing a curveball at me because, you know, normally if it's sold on July 11th, that would be our closing date. I don't know why Joyce included this closed on September 19th. So for right now, what I would have you do is cross this out. We're not going to really worry about that, and I just double checked, and that is what is in the book. Now, here's the thing I want to remind you, and sometimes students will write me and they'll say, well, you know, that question seems a little bit odd, or when I tried to work that, I came up with a different number. And here's what I always like to tell you. One thing I will say about PSI and the other test agencies, they're pretty good to make sure you have the right information in the problem. If not, you can always flag that and make a comment about it. So going back over here, let's take a look at how Joyce worked this in the answer key, okay? And so we know semi-annual taxes were $450 and they were paid for the first half of the year. So that would be January 1 through June 30th, right? Now, if it closed on July 11th, and that's the number, that's the date we're going to look at, really the way Joyce works this is to take $450, divide it by 180 days. Why 180 days? Because that's 1/2 of a year, right? So by taking $450, dividing it by 180, you get $2.50 per day. Now, if it closed on the 11th, if that's the day we look at, we basically just have 11 days of taxes to prorate. So $2.50 times 11 days gives us $27.50. And the only possible answer with that is a debit to the seller and a credit to the buyer. That is correct. Remember, taxes are paid in arrears, so I'm going to come over here. when that first tax bill was paid, you were actually paying from January 1 through June 30th. So if you're closing on July 11th, you would have 11 days of taxes, and that would be a debit, a charge to the seller, and a credit to the buyer, and the buyer would pay that at the very end of the year. So I know there was some wording, I always read these before I go live, there was some wording that was off, but the way they work it in the book is that it actually closed on July the 11th. Hopefully that was helpful for you. I'm going to do another tax problem tomorrow, I promise. We might do a couple of tax problems for you tomorrow. We'll do another live streaming, probably be doing that sometime in the morning, but you can always subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm going to do this, and you're going to see me move over a little bit in the black space around the screen. But subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then you can go there and watch those at any time. And by the way, you can also watch those on our website, globalrealestateschool.com. We've got a little link that says Global Real Estate TV. When you click on that, all of our YouTube videos show up there, as well as our playlists, because we'll put this in the math playlist. So you can go over there and watch those. Hey, we've got a great podcast too. You need to check it out. We're on iTunes, Spotify, we're on Pandora, Podbean, Amazon, Google, any place there's a podcast, our podcast is streaming out to it. And we're almost at 90,000 downloads. That's right, 90,000. But it's a great way for you to listen to definitions, and questions, and other information while you're driving, while you're working. I'm listening to more and more podcasts. I'm telling you what, I love podcasts. I've got about 4 or 5 different topics that I'm very interested in: screenwriting, real estate. Of course, I love the mysteries and that kind of stuff. And listening to some other success podcasts. And I try to bring you some success stories on my podcast, as well as interviews with folks that are doing well in the real estate business. So subscribe to our podcast. Check us out on Facebook. We're on Instagram. And yes, we are on YouTube. We want you to be a subscriber there as well. Well, hey, that does it for today's live stream. Again, thank you so much for joining. I hope you go out and have a great day. Thank you.